Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video we have some breaking news. Shadowlands has been delayed. The release of Shadowlands has been delayed. I don't normally do like breaking news segments here, but I happen to be at my computer while this is going on, and I just wanted to get my thoughts out on it. Another point of information is the pre-patch date is for October 13th. So we can speculate on when the new release date will be for Shadowlands. But I don't. Obviously, nobody knows for sure. I would guess mid-November to early December. Give us a month or more of pre-patch to play, and then release it then. And I'm going to, I guess, share my thoughts on this now, which is actually kind of good because I've been meaning to do a video similar to this. Not about obviously the game being delayed because I didn't know that, but just some thoughts on some things regarding it. So first, the Shadowlands release, that's going to affect people in different ways, of course. A lot of people won't affect at all. Some people it'll affect a lot. I'm more probably in the middle of that, personally. My personal thing is, my wife and I do kind of coordinate. We have a little one now, so this wasn't like this before. It was only me that I had to worry about, right? Even when we were together before we had a kid. So BFA was the first expansion where we had our little guy, and so we kind of coordinated time off. She spends the time with the kid, takes him to the zoo, whatever, and I just sit here like a nerd and level up on the night of the release, and so that kind of sucks. Now it's possible we can get that moved and still have that work out, but if not, that will kind of suck. There is one positive for me personally, is I did order a new computer for this expansion because my computer is quite old at this point. Well, at least the components inside of it are quite old, and it was going to be rough playing Shadowlands on it, frankly. So it wasn't supposed to get here until after the release, as of now, at least. So it's likely now that I will at least have my new computer when Shadowlands launches, which that part's great. That's a huge positive because then I don't have to worry about the frames cutting out if I'm recording or anything like that. Don't have to put my settings down any lower, and I could possibly even stream the night I'm leveling and stuff like that. A lot more opportunities there, so that's a good thing. And I imagine people are affected in all kinds of ways. So, whether it's taking time off of work, just having a get together plan, maybe some group of friends all get together and play LAN or something like that, and it might be hard to reschedule that. I'm sure there's all kinds of different ways people are affected by this. For those of you who aren't affected by it, that's great. I mean, no, nothing against you, just because you aren't affected by it. But yeah, so that's the first thing I think of when I hear about this news is, how are people affected? Is it going to really screw some people over? Even some of the high-end guilds, is all their stuff planned around this as well. And now it's pushed back probably maybe over a month, even a month or more, maybe. So that's the first thing I think of is how are people affected by it. The next thing I'm thinking of is why are they doing it. So this is going to be more of an opinion base. So the first part here is mostly just news and just kind of sharing how I'm affected and stuff, but going to be a little bit more opinion now. If you don't want to hear my opinion, now's a good time to switch off, I guess. But so why are they doing this? Are they doing this because people are just complaining so hard, or are they doing this for really valid reasons? Now, let's go over the valid reasons first, because that's the best case scenario, right? So the valid reasons are they have not figured out a way to fully balance the covenants yet, and there are multiple classes where that's the case, and I was personally just giving them the benefit of the doubt that they would be able to balance them before the release. We still have a few weeks left, and I assume they were working on that. And it's not every class that needs balanced really hard. Like, for example, Paladin is actually pretty decent overall. I mean, there's to the point where there's still argument about which one is going to be the best to take overall. Like, not just, obviously there's no argument of which one does the highest sim on patchwork, but just more practical use, which one's the best. So Paladin's one where, it's pretty well balanced. Now there's many that aren't. So are they delaying it to fully balance the Covenant system and make that work, and fully balance the Soulbind system? Are they doing it to think about the Conduit system more? that would be another good one in my opinion, because I don't like the conduit thing is going to be more of an issue than anything else the way it currently is. That's why I personally on this channel, and me personally, I've been trying to get people to focus more on the conduits than on and like the reset, like because it's still only at one per week. That is a much bigger issue than even the covenant balance is. So I've been trying to get people to focus on that as much as I could. If that's a reason, that's a good reason. Class balance is one as well. Are the classes just not finished yet, and they don't have time to finish all the classes? Is the raid not going to be finished in time to where it's a fun raid? Do they need like another whole round of raid testing? That would be a good reason as well. They mentioned the end game in their release. I'll link the release down below. But is that the reason? Is the raid not done yet, and they weren't going to be ready when, like, it was either delay the release of the game or delay the raid, so now we're playing the game and we just have nothing to do. At least like end game, PvE players have nothing to do because there's no raid to do. So is that the reason why? All those would be good reasons. Now there's only really one bad reason. The bad reason would be that they're just listening to people who complain to complain. And there's a dirty secret that some content creators actually will point out, and I will shout out Bellular here for that. He has admitted that the videos with drama and clickbaity titles get better performance. They get more engagement, which then increases your numbers on YouTube, for example. And people who feed into that also, tend to do better on streaming and other things as well. And so that's a dirty little secret. And so people, I'll phrase it like this. If creator X makes a video saying, wow, this raid's really awesome, and it gets, average views, average revenue, average everything, but then they make a video saying, oh, this is completely broken, they need to fix it, Blizzard's out of their mind, and it gets double that of that previous video where they're being positive, and this trend continues to happen over time, it's hard to tell them not to do the thing that is giving them more money, essentially, right? So it's like if you've watched that new documentary on social media, it's the same thing. People are watching things, they're engaging with things that they hate. So when you're talking about, oh, I hate this thing Blizzard's doing, I hate this thing they're doing, why are they breaking the game? All the keywords that people throw out there about Blizzard or about any company. This just happens to be about World of Warcraft. They put these things out here just for that engagement, and that's what some people are doing. And it's not to say that they don't also agree with it. It's not to say that they wouldn't watch that themselves, right? So they might be a content creator, but if someone else made that content, they might watch it because they might actually believe it and they might actually want to engage in it as well. So it's not that it's disingenuous. It's just that it could be completely natural, but it's also beneficial to them, or it is disingenuous and beneficial to them to do it. So either way, it's beneficial. But the question is, how genuine is it in all cases? So I do feel that sometimes people complain just to complain. People put out false or misleading information. Big creators do this. They don't necessarily do that for the success. They do that just because, it just fits the narrative that they're trying to paint. A lot of times it becomes being right over, like trying to prove themselves right instead of just, I call it being right instead of being correct. I know that's a bit of an oxymoron, but you're ignoring facts to prove that you're right instead of just being correct, which just following the facts is kind of how I think of it when I say that. It's kind of a phrase I use in my personal life. And I just hope that they didn't change it because of that. Hope they didn't change it because pull the ripcord. I hope they didn't change the release date because of we need a talent row of Covenant abilities. Hope they didn't change it for any of those reasons. I obviously I already went through them. I went through plenty of good reasons to change it, and I just hope it was one of them. Because if they're listening to people who are essentially clicking and commenting on Facebook posts who anger them, then that's not going to be very productive. And whether you even are on Facebook or not, you probably have family who are. I know my family is on Facebook a lot, and then people I went to school with and stuff, high school and stuff, and there's so much anger on there, and they're just hate posting, and they can't help it. It's almost like they're addicted to doing it, and I feel like that's what it is a lot of times with these YouTube videos as well. And I just hope that that's not the reason why, because that would make me really sad. That would definitely signal probably close to the end of World of Warcraft, because if you keep listening to them, you're just going to go down a huge hole that you're not going to ever be able to climb out of. If you listen to those people that are just they thrive in this negative they don't thrive really, they just exist in this negative environment. And yeah, but here's hoping it was for a good reason. Sorry to get somber on you at the end there, but hopefully it's for a good reason. Raid wasn't ready. Classes, they didn't feel like they had time to balance the classes. They didn't feel like they had time to do the finishing balancing on the covenants, which I had, been giving them the benefit of the doubt on for the classes that need that. Maybe they felt like they didn't have the time to do that. So for now, I will give them that benefit of the doubt as well, that they did it for the right reasons. And hopefully nothing comes out contrary to that after everything's all said and done, or someone tweets something out after they leave the company or whatever. So as always, I will ask you to subscribe to the channel because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.